Hey guys, this is a production of the J&J Media, brought to you by Minute Peach Framing Designs and Gift Shops. What's up, guys? I am your host, Jordan Dorosic. Welcome to the J&J Sports Talk. This is the 11th episode of this podcast. And I want to welcome in my co-host, Christian and Thomas Gohick. How are we doing today, guys?
I'm doing good, as always.
Doing great as always, man, and had a nice Thanksgiving. How about yourself?
Yeah, I had a pretty good Thanksgiving. A lot of turkey. What about you, Clash? You have any turkey or no?
Yeah, it was a great Thanksgiving. I had no turkey, no food. Every place was closed. We were stuck in a truck, but I had my PlayStation.
Did you have like DoorDash? Anybody was DoorDashing anything or no?
No, everywhere was closed.
You couldn't get no chicken nuggets?
Nope.
All right.
No chicken nuggets on Thanksgiving, and the whole year's ruined.
Well, I
Couldn't get
know.
any nugget?
Oh, I know who did have turkey on Thanksgiving. It's those Steelers, which we're going to start off with the Steelers on the show. They came home with a win over the Colts. It came down to the last minute, and they stopped them on that very last drive. If they would have scored, they probably would have tied the game. But yeah, Clash, and tell us about your Steelers. How'd they do?
They did good. They won. I mean, it's kind of rare that they win. It used to be they always win, and now it's a struggle to win. But late in the season, our offense is doing good, and our defense is actually the problem now. We're scoring 20 plus every game now, but our defense is also giving up 20 plus every game. So it's kind of a mix. I don't know what our defense is going, but we have the players. It's just a lot of miscues.
Jay, what are your thoughts on this? Your team, or half a team? I don't know if you like them or not.
Steelers are always my number 2 team.
Number two. Okay.
Yeah, number 2.
Redskins are number 1.
And yes. And the right name, by the way. Yes. We don't use the other name.
The commies are number 1. Are your number 1 team? The commie commanders.
Yeah. But the Steelers, they and like I've been saying all season, man. I kind of knew this was going to be one of those bridge years, one of those transition years. And they played a very good defense. Colts have a great defense. They have a really, really good defense. And they were able to come away with 24, 27 points and come away with a win. So I mean, they played good, they played solid, and Pickett's getting better with each game, and they were able to actually put a whole game together this time and come away with a win. So hopefully Pittsburgh can build on that. Hopefully they can build on that and then take that momentum.
Do y'all think they're going to build on it to where they're just going to go on a streak here and start winning game after game after game, or it's still going to be game on, game off, game on, game off to they're going to be win loss, win loss?
I would.
I don't know. I mean, versus the Ravens, I don't know if they can beat the Ravens, which the Ravens have been struggling lately, in my opinion. But the Steelers do play the Ravens tough every season, no matter what. It's always a close, low-scoring game. So there is a chance they win out, but I'm not betting the house on it.
Are you for sure betting the house on anything, or like saying y'all going to finish the season strong or something?
I think they'll try. I think the main goal is to get above 500, at least go whatever it is, 9-8 or whatever they can get to. But if we get 9-8, I think we can make the playoffs, in my opinion. But that's a long shot.
That's a big long shot right there to make playoffs on a 9-8, especially in the AFC side of things.
I was gonna say if we were in the NFC East, 9-8 is probably first in division, making the playoffs for sure.
Whoa! Hey! You're talking about the 4-team, every team in last place in the NFC East is in the playoffs. That's telling you something right there.
Yeah. As of now, yeah.
All
4 are in the playoffs.
All 3 from second, third, and fourth, all in wild card spots. The only spots that they do not fill is the division leaders outside of NFC East.
But I mean, that's going with Pittsburgh. Like I was, to answer the question about Pittsburgh, No, I mean, because they play in a tough division with the Ravens and Cincinnati, which Cincinnati they're coming on. I mean, they've looked a lot better, and they're starting to get their find their niche a little bit. So Cincinnati, they're they're bringing it. So Pittsburgh's they got a uphill battle to climb. Um, so they'll get some more wins, but yeah, they're going to get some more losses just from the teams that they play. But as of right now, I mean, of course, the NFC East. We can talk about that. As of right now, yeah, there's all four teams are in the playoffs, but if you look at the next two, this coming Sunday, you got Washington and New York. And then after Washington plays New York, they have a bye week, and then they play New York again. So they got virtually the Giants 2 games in a row. And then they still got one at the end of the year with Dallas, which the way things are kind of shaping up, that week 17 game between Washington and Dallas could come down to that division and or a wild card.
You think that's going to come down to a last spot, seventh spot, or they have to win that game to get into the seventh spot?
Well, think of it. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that Dallas and Washington has gone to the final week of the season with a win and in scenario.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's going to be. You think it's going to be between those teams a win and in and a lose you go home playoff type situation?
No. I think if the Cowboys lose, they're still in the playoffs. I think Washington has to win that game to get the final.
That's what I'm saying.
Seed.
Because Dallas is literally like 99% chance going into the playoffs. All they have to do is kind of win a couple games here and there, and they're fairly locked in. They control their own destiny.
The Redskins lose one of the two matchups versus the Giants. I think the Cowboys game would be a must-win, depending on whoever the other player or teams are in the hunt.
It's mainly going to focus on the other teams outside the wild card that are in the hunt, not really the Cowboys, because the Cowboys have a better record than them. Plus, they beat them head to head, and the best shot the Washington would do, they have to win against them to tie it up, and then it'll go down to the division record.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are in no matter what, even if they lose that Week 17 game. If the Redskins can make it to Week 17, where all they have to do is beat the Cowboys and they're in, I like their odds, because the Cowboys are most likely going to rest all their players unless they can still get the number one seed in the NFC East or whatever. If they can't reach the Eagles, then they'll probably rest all their starters, which will help Washington.
Well, not if it goes down to depending on seeding, because like if they're in the 5th seed and whoever's in the 6th seed at the time has a shot to beat them, if they lose this game and so 6th seed wins, then there's no resting your starters if you're going after seeding at that point.
True.
So
it sounds like clashing. So it just kind of sounds like you jumped on this Dallas Cowboy bandwagon.
What do you mean? Oh, I think they're making the playoffs no matter what. I mean, unless they just lose out the rest of the games, which hopefully that happens. But
No.
the
question is, have you jumped on the bandwagon itself? It sounds like you're kind of jumping on the bandwagon here.
What do you mean here? Like, I'm a Cowboys fan? Is that what you're accusing me of?
No, but he's more saying to
I'm
like
accusing. I'm not accusing.
No, he's more of like, do you accept that the Cowboys are actually good and respect them?
I don't. I respect the players. I don't respect the team. We'll never respect the team.
The players are on the team.
Well, hopefully they get traded soon. But I do think, in my opinion, the Cowboys are good. I will give them that. I respect them as a good team, but I do not. I respect them this year. Next year they can go back to being 10-7 or whatever.
Okay, yeah, but we're not talking about next year. We're talking about right now, in this place, this second. Do you respect the Cowboys, and are they good?
Yes, I respect. Okay, I'll respect the Cowboys, but we don't respect their fan base. I hate their fan base.
No, we're not talking about fan bases right now. We're talking about strictly playing the actual game.
All right, yeah, I respect the Cowboys. They are a good team. I don't know how far. I think they can win the Super Bowl if they play perfect, but it's the Cowboys. You put them on prime time, they'll fall.
No, that's just your opinion. So no, we're not getting out of that outside of the region of getting to the slander part. We're getting to the facts, factual stuff. The Cowboys are good, and you respect them. Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's the answer. Okay, let me go to Shady. I'm gonna ask you the same question. Outside being opinionated on what their fan base does and all this, and that, are the Cowboys good? And now have you opened your eyes to actually realize this team could actually do some damage?
I have to give. Like I told you, I'm a man of my word, and give the respect where it is due. That they are a good team. I will give the respect. Absolutely. I told you last week, if they would take out New York on Thanksgiving, then I would, then I would be happy to easily say that, and definitely will say that the Cowboys definitely are a good team.
I got a question for Jay. Well, after you're done.
Okay. Now, do I think that they'll make, quote unquote, make some noise? I mean, I don't think they're going to make any more noise than what they're making, other than a negative noise when they eventually nosedive. Which we all just follow. We just know that's gonna happen with Dallas, whether it's in the first week of the playoffs or what have you. I mean, it just comes with the territory. It's kind of like
We're
the
not talking
Redskins.
about future, right? We're not talking about like if in the playoff. We're talking about strictly off of performance as of now. That's what we're basing the Cowboys off of, not of when they nosedive or when they do this and when they do that. We're talking about now.
They are a good team as of now. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, so what was your question, Thomas?
Because
It's getting serious in here. He had to interrupt Shady for a question.
Do you respect the Steelers now? I mean, they broke the curse.
Yes, they did. Well, hold on. I'm not saying yes to the answer, but I'm saying yes, they did break the curse of Cowboys winning that week and then Steelers losing and Steelers winning, Cowboys losing. The only person I'll respect on that team is Pickens, your receiver. Anything outside of that, no, they're still a fraud. Not fraud, but they're like, okay, I'll say this. Like, I'll agree with you and Shady saying, oh, they're in the rebuilding year, or there's a bridge year to where next year they'll make some noise. All right, yeah, I'll say that because
they're ready. They're making noise now.
Oh, against the Colts?
Against the Bengals, Colts were like before the season started. The Colts were very high up.
That's expectation. But we said the same thing about the Lions. They struggled in close games last year, and we thought they were going to make the playoffs. But now they're just losing. So we have to accept the facts they lose. So same with the Steelers. Even if it's close game, they're losing.
Win out. Are you gonna? All right, at week 17 comes
of course,
around the podcast.
Yes.
If they win out, are you gonna respect?
100%. If they win out, that'll be on a 7-game win streak to close the season right there. Any team that closes a season with a 7-game win streak should be respected at that point.
All right. Can we? If the Cowboys go on a 7-game losing streak, can we withdraw our respect?
Well, it won't be a 7-game losing streak because they only got 6 games left. So, what was your question again?
The question was, did you respect the Steelers? And you already answered that.
No, the Cowboys question.
Oh, if they were to lose 6 games in a row, are we allowed to withdraw our statement
of course.
respecting?
Because we're going to be basing it off of as of now. We're going to say week to week. As of now, this. As of now, that. So as of now, y'all both agreed that Cowboys are a good team, and y'all respect them because they have.
Not fair. I was gonna respect Parsons and CD, and you said I wasn't allowed to do that, but then you only respect Pickens.
What do you mean? Yeah, of course you could respect some, but no. You said I don't respect the team, but I respect the players. The players are on the team.
Well, Pickens is on the team.
Oh no! I said player. I didn't say the whole team because the way you said it is like, oh, players. So like all the players. Yeah, I respect all the players on the team, but as a team as a whole, I don't respect them. No, it's the fan base that you don't respect. That's why. I made you admit that because I was like, oh, because of the fan base. I said no. We're talking off of performance right now.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So if the Cowboys lose 6 games in a row to close out the season, and that'll probably most likely make them not make the playoffs, then they'll finish the season 8-9. Then they'll then yes, we could slander them all we want. I'll even slander them. Say 6 games in a row is terrible, and
Yeah, we'll call them a choke artist. How do you go from what? What are they now? 7-2, 7-3, 8-3. How do you go from 8-3 to missing the playoffs?
Well, let's hope we ain't having that. Let's hope we're not having that conversation in 6 weeks' time. Okay.
I hope we are, kind of, but
no.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun, but I don't see it happening.
If the Steelers somehow make the playoffs and the Cowboys don't, that would be hilarious.
It won't happen. As my opinion, it won't happen. Okay, but we're just basing off of facts as of now and predictions that I showed you earlier. Steelers have a 1% chance to make the playoff. Cowboys have a 99% chance to make the playoff.
Just the flip real quick.
All the Cowboys have to do, without needing any help of any other teams, all they have to do is win 3 games in the next 6 games. You know who their next 3 games are? Against the Colts, the Texans, and the Jaguars. If you're telling me if they can't make the playoffs off of those 3 straight games, they shouldn't be in the playoffs.
I will give you the Texans. The Colts and the Jaguars could be upsets. I mean, those are games you should win, but upset alert.
And the Jaguars took out Baltimore.
Yeah.
The Jaguars are looking better.
Maybe. And the Jaguars played the Eagles tough too at the beginning of the season.
Also, I've seen some TikToks of like fans' reactions of the Justin Tucker 67-yard field goal attempt to close the game out. And the ball was like, as soon as it got up in the air, they were like kind of celebrating. Like they knew it was just a chip shot for Justin Tucker because they're so spoiled on him making all these field goals. In reality, when you look at it, it's a 67-yard field goal. Like, come on.
It was a bad camera angle,
even with the 66-yard, when I saw the ball go up, I knew it was too high because if you want to kick a long field goal, it's going to have to be low. A good trajectory. If it's too high, it's not going to get there. She's going to fall straight down, which I'm kind of surprised how close it did get with how high it went.
Yeah, and he came a couple of yards from it. I mean, if it was a 60, I think if it was about like a 63, 65, yeah, he had it, but 67 is just a little short. But I mean, you got to get, he's the best kicker in the NFL, hands down. I mean, there's no debating or arguing that. He's been the best kicker in the NFL. He's going to be the best kicker in the NFL. And, you know, it's almost kind of unfair how the Ravens kind of rely on him that much, you know, to bail him out of all these games, you know, with his foot. But, hey, you know, you got to do that sometimes, I guess.
You know who's the best long field goal kicker in NFL history? Brett Maher. He's a Dallas Cowboys kicker. He has the most 60-yard field goals in NFL history. The next closest is 2. He has 4. Technically 5. He made 2. He almost made back-to-back against the Vikings.
I don't know. Chris Boswell's pretty good.
Huh? What'd y'all say?
I was going to say Jason Elam for Denver, but
off of statistic-wise, 60-yard bombs, Brett Maher has 4, and the next closest has 2. Just a note you. Plus, the Justin Tucker field goal, the 66-yarder that he hit last year against the Vikings, he maximized that one to the fullest because that one hit the crossbar, the front of the crossbar, to then make it into the uprights. So another yard after that, that's going to be even harder. Plus, it was outdoors, and you're in Florida. You're at sea level. Who knows how the wind was going at that time. Anyways, we're actually going to move on to our topics now. We're going to start off with none other than the Cowboys. The Cowboys took home the win on Thanksgiving against the Giants, 28-20. They had a slow start in the very beginning. It was 13-7 going to half, and then the Cowboys scored 21 unanswered points, which then the Giants scored within like the last 8 seconds. But it was basically a shutout in the second half for the Cowboys shutting the Giants out, which a lot of people who betted the spread for the Cowboys probably did not like that because of that late score. Anyways, where do you rank the Cowboys in the NFL, like top rank wise? We'll start off with Shady.
Rank wise?
As of
Oh
now.
man,
As of now.
as of now, in the NFL, in the entire NFL,
In the entire
rank,
NFL.
huh? Well, I had to put them. I'd have to probably put them at number 3. I'd have to say number 3.
Who do you have as your top 2?
Buffalo's number 1, Philly's number 2, and Dallas is number 3.
Fair point. Fair point. Is there a reason why you would put them at 3 and not over the Eagles at number 2?
They beat the Eagles the next time they play them, then they go to number 2.
Let me ask you this question. It's a fair question to ask as of now.
Okay.
Who would you have taken home the Christmas Eve game as of now? The Cowboys versus the Eagles. Off of late performance, have we seen the Eagles struggled against the Texans? They lost against the Commanders, and then they struggled against the Colts, and they somewhat struggled against the Green Bay Packers this last game.
Oh man, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles.
All right, yeah. I just wanted to ask her that question.
I mean, just
now,
because what I saw the other night against, I mean, of course, Green Bay is Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay, they're not what they are or what they used to be, and I knew that from right off the beginning of the year, just because of who their defensive coordinator is. Joe Barry, who used to be Jay Gruden's in Washington, so I know him well, and very, very one of the worst defensive coordinators in the league. So I knew Green Bay's defense was going to be crap this year. But that being said, I mean, bouncing back off of the loss from Washington, Philly looked pretty good the other night. So that's why I would still say that. So if Dallas takes out Philadelphia on that Christmas Eve game, then Dallas would have to go to number 2 in my book.
okay, all right. Clashin, where do you see the Cowboys in the NFL right now?
I just want to first say I do think the Eagles are in playoff conditions are a really good football team, but as of right now, I think the Cowboys. I'm gonna put them probably number 2.
And I'm guessing the Bills are the number 1 team.
No, I have the Chiefs number 1. I'm not really liking how the Bills have been playing the last few weeks. I know Josh Allen is hurt, but it just something's off. Their defense isn't as dominant. I don't know if they had a lot of injuries. And then Von Miller got hurt last week, and he's only going to miss this week, but he's going to be playing the rest of the season hurt. So which he might only be at 60, 70%, which he'll still be on the field. But Bills are 3rd or 4th.
And do you have them? Where do you have the Eagles at number 3 or 4?
In a playoff scenario,
or even in the top 5, because I know a specific team that you like in the NFC side.
Oh yeah, all right. In the playoffs, I'm gonna have the Niners as number 1 and Eagles as number 2. But as of right now, I would have the Eagles probably like number 6 or 7, because all the Eagles do is run the ball, which they can pass the ball. They do have weapons. It's just they rely so much on the run game, which is why they're going to be good in the playoffs. I feel like, but I just don't like them right now.
What could change your mind to make the Cowboys be a number 1? You think an OBJ could translate to the Cowboys being number 1 on the top of your list and elevate that offense to even higher levels than it is right now?
Maybe it could actually hurt their offense. It all depends on how they use OBJ. If they just want to feed him the ball every single play, and the team could just lock him down, and then they panic and fall apart, I mean that could happen. But I don't know how much OBJ would help any team.
I think just having OBJ on the field just helps the other receivers, because then there's more.
It will.
Then how is it going to hurt them though?
I feel like Dallas, like whenever you get a new toy, you're gonna want to play with it. I just feel like they're gonna Dak is going to force too much stuff to OBJ, and it's going to lead to turnovers, just missed yards on first and second down, and then they're fighting 3rd and 8 the whole game. I don't know. If they use OBJ like where he gets, 5, 6, 7 targets a game, it'll work out. But if they try to give him 15 targets a game, then that's when problems
I think there's
happen.
too many. There's too much. There is too many. What am I trying to say? Other great players like Schultz. You got Gallup, Lamb out there to not just to keep throwing to OBJ if you have a new toy like that. I don't think they would be doing that in that situation.
It's the Cowboys. The only way I'll give the Cowboys the number 1 spot is if they start running the ball more consistently. Every once in a while,
what do you mean? They've been running the ball way. Dak Prescott has not thrown for 40 passes this whole season. Or Cooper.
Look at the beginning of the Giants game. They started out with 7 or 8 straight passes in one run. And then Dak threw an interception, and then they went right back to the run.
Both of his interceptions have a good reasoning why they're interceptions.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not saying they're his fault. I mean, the lineman thought it was a free play, and Dak just chucked it up. But
I know there's no reason to say the Cowboys need to start running the ball more.
They do. Everyone knows in the playoffs you need to run the ball.
Yeah, but they have been running the ball.
Unless you have an no, they haven't. They're inconsistent.
No, they haven't.
They have 30 rushes, and then they'll have one game where they run the ball 12 times.
I don't even think Dak has thrown for 300 yards this whole season.
Well, you can get 300 yards off of 15 passes. I mean, Josh Allen did it versus the Steelers.
One second. 169 rushing yards to Dak's.
I'm talking carries. I want to carries.
Okay.
You can get 100 yards off of one carry.
All right. They had 39 carries to Dak's 30 passes.
All right, so that's good.
That's about normal. Okay. Let me bring up the Vikings game. They were 40 carries to Dak's 30 passes. They had 40 carries to Dak's 30 passes against the Vikings. Let's go to the Packers where they lost the game. Okay.
Let's see.
All right. All right. Let me retract that statement. All right. 31 rushes to Dak's 46 passes. All right. So that's where. Okay. I didn't think he threw that many. Goddamn. All right. We'll go to the Bears game.
They were ahead the whole game, so hopefully they had a lot of carries.
They had 29 carries to Dak's 27 passes, so that's
pretty even.
Pretty even. Eagles game. 26 rushes to Cooper rushes 38 passes. So you can see a trend here. You see it? The games that are losing, they're passing the ball way too much.
I know.
And then
that's what I'm trying to say. The Dallas are inconsistent. It's either if they run the ball, they're going to be good. If they pass the ball too much, they're going to be bad.
But what I'm seeing here is when they actually do run the ball in the games that they lose, they're still averaging over 5 yards a carry. So it's not like the run game is completely shut down for a reason. I mean, from the defense side. But
all right, next question.
Yeah, next. Shady about the OBJ. Can OBJ make the Cowboys a Super Bowl contender to put them above the Eagles and the Chiefs or whoever your number one was?
He, in theory, he can. Now, would he?
Yeah, will he?
Will he? In my opinion, absolutely not. Number one, I think Clashin is dead on right with what he was kind of saying in that they've run their offense one way all year round. And then all of a sudden you're going to throw OBJ in there and you have to adjust the offense to something to complement OBJ. He's a prima donna. He doesn't get the ball, he's going to start crying. He's been a cancer in locker rooms. He'll be a cancer again. He can cause problems. If he doesn't get what he wants, then he's going to start problems. You try to change what your offense has been doing, it's going to cause problems. I see it being a big problem than actually helping. Now, in theory, yeah, I mean, it could work out great, and he could be that missing number, WR2 that they've been kind of needing in that second weapon. So that could be it. But in my opinion, I think he would actually hurt more than he would help. Just my opinion.
You think so that you're going to follow with what Clash and saying he's going to hurt the offense more than help it?
So for most teams, if OBJ go into they would instantly help. Like it would. I don't know if they would win more games, but they would help their offense significantly. But if you use him wrong, or you just try to force feed him every single play, that's when causes problems. Which I don't know how Odell is. Like I bet he is.
I've heard nothing wrong about him as a teammate, other than the Josh Norman thing.
But that wasn't a teammate issue.
I know,
that was just him being, going 100% on the field.
That was just a rivalry.
I don't think he's a Madonna. I mean, he was kicked off a plane. I think was it last weekend?
He was asleep.
Either way, he was still kicked off a plane for apparently refusing to put on a seatbelt, but
because he was asleep.
Yeah.
I think people are making way too big of a deal out of that whole seatbelt situation. Because they want to. Because they want to have a problem. They want to have a problem with it because the Cowboys are the favorites to get him. Because they want him to be like, oh, well, he's causing drama. That's just how he is, No,
it's already been released where he was complying and stuff. It was just someone on the airplane that was just power hungry. Like he was asleep and someone woke him up and then he just got thrown off for no reason. But I do think he's a drama queen, and he is a good receiver. He could cause drama. He was bad at the Browns.
How can he be a drama guy, but yet a great teammate at the same? But
he is the star player. If you only give him the ball twice a game, he isn't going to be very happy.
But it wasn't him complaining. It was his dad complaining. So his dad was the drama queen.
Well, do you want his dad in the locker room? Because he might be.
His dad wasn't in the locker room. He I don't know how he goes from a drama queen to a great teammate. You can't pick one or the other. You have to pick one or the other.
I've never said he was a great teammate.
His teammates are saying the one who played with the Rams, played with the Browns. Other than Baker Mayfield, it's Baker Mayfield. He's not a good credible source because look how he's doing in Panthers.
Keep with my original statement. I think he can help the offense if used properly. If he gets 15 targets a game, he can unless all 15 of those targets are for good yards and not Dak isn't forcing it and which leads to turnovers. If he's used properly, getting 15 targets a game, then that's good. Which it could help them win the Super Bowl. But if he's used as a new toy, which is a distraction, and Dak isn't paying attention to anything else besides OBJ, then that's when it's going to cause problems.
I don't see Dak doing that. I don't see him force feeding him because he's a new toy. But even if he's just on the field, you're going to have Gallup and CeeDee Lamb open. So why would he want to force something into a tighter space if he has these two other receivers plus Schultz is out there? So also Pollard would probably be on the same field. There's no reason where he needs to force anything. All he does is just need to have him out there. And that'll just help the offense tremendously, just having him out there.
Yeah, if Dallas uses him as a distraction, which will basically be he will be a distraction for the first 2 weeks because it'll take him a while, at least a week or two, to learn the offense. Which I don't know why he's delaying. He wants the best playoff team. He needs to make his decision soon because playoffs are coming, and you can't join 1 week before playoffs because then you can possibly miss the first week of playoffs because you don't know the playbook.
No, I don't think he's set to schedule to meet with the Giants tomorrow, I think, and then the Cowboys this coming Monday. So I really expect a decision next week at the very earliest or very, very latest. So probably next Tuesday, maybe, or next Monday. I don't
even think the Giants are in his top 3 decisions.
They are. It's
Miami,
the Giants, Bills, and
Cowboys
the Giants.
Are probably the top 2.
Well, we're going off of reports here. The Giants, the Bills, and the Cowboys are his top 3 teams. Cowboys are a big favorite.
Yeah, the Cowboys would be my favorite too, besides the whole turf thing.
All right, so we could get off the plane on this topic, and we'll, no pun intended. But we'll move on into the next game we're going to talk about is the Bucs versus the Browns. Tom Brady loses in overtime versus the Browns, falling to 5-6 of the season. I'm pretty sure this is the worst start he's ever had in his career on any type of team. But they still have the division lead because the division is terrible in the NFC South. It's almost like the NFC East in previous years. But who is going to take the NFC South? Is it going to be the Bucs? Is it going to be the Panthers? Is it going to be the Saints? Who else? Who do y'all have? We'll start with Clashing on this question.
It's gonna be the Bucs. I mean, I don't know what the Bucs are doing. I mean, Mike Evans didn't have a single catch the first half, which was weird.
And
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you're gonna say about it.
Yeah, Bucs suck.
But you're still gonna see them coming out of the division.
I do, and I know I've told you this. Like, the Bucs are a team that I think could beat the Cowboys just based off their scheme. Like, the Bucs defense, for some reason, they know the Cowboys. It doesn't matter how bad they suck. It's just like the Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Both teams could be really, really good or really, really bad. It'll still be a 13-14 game at the end.
Okay, so I'll list the standings currently. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-6. Second place we have 5-7 Atlanta, and then third place 4-8 Panthers, and then Saints are 4-8. So they're all under a blanket. But I will.
So who do the Bucs
but I will say this. I will say this. The Bucs division record currently is 2-1. The Panthers division record is 3-1. That's big if you're looking at tiebreakers right there. If you're looking for the Panthers to make a move at 4-8 currently.
You were saying the Panthers were. I was calling the Panthers the NFC South good team, and you were saying they were trash. I guess they won the division.
They are 4-8 and can win the division. Of course, they're trash.
And we weren't calling the Cowboys trash 3 years ago when they were 9-7 winning the division.
They didn't win the division at 9-7. They won.
There's been a few years where the winner of the NFC East was like 500.
Yes, several years ago, but 2020, I will say that was a terrible year for the division. 2021, the Cowboys were 12-5. This year, the division leader is 10-1. 2019, I think the Eagles were 10-6, 10-6 or 9-7, and then 2018 Cowboys were 10-6. 2017, I think Eagles were on a roll. That's when they won the Super Bowl, so it had to have been like 13-3 if I remember right. Cowboys won the division 13-3 in 2016. So 2019, 2020, bad years for the division.
Well, I'm betting the house on the Bucs winning the division.
Betting the house on the Bucs. Are you betting the house on the Bucs, Shady? Or you got any other team in mind?
Atlanta. Atlanta's my team in mind.
Ooh, the shocker in here. It's gonna be hard though. The Atlanta's they're 1-3 currently on their division record, so they're gonna need to start. They're gonna have to win the next two to have any type of like tiebreakers.
I don't know if it'll even come down to a tiebreaker. I mean, Atlanta's good. Now, they did losing Pitts was a big loss, but watching them last week against Washington, man, Washington's got a really, really good run defense, one of the best in the league. And Atlanta was able to just chew up yards on the ground, I mean, almost at will against them. I mean, Atlanta has a very, very good running game, and they used Mariota very, very well. I like it. I like what I saw at Atlanta. I think because it's such a weak division, it's such a I mean, I don't want to say non-competitive, but just such a weak division this year. I think that Atlanta is going to benefit from that and come out on top, just because that the whole, the Tampa Bay is kind of having one of those anomaly type of years. Where, I mean, they might make a push, but after losing to the Browns last week, that was a tough pill to swallow. So I see Atlanta making a push and coming away with the South this year.
The next 6 games for the Bucs coming up is the Saints, 49ers, Bengals, Cardinals, Panthers, and Falcons.
I see them losing 2 games.
I definitely see them losing the 49ers and the Bengals right there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And then we'll go to the Falcons real soon. If I can pull it up. But
They play the Steelers next, I'm pretty sure. Which I think the Steelers can beat the Falcons.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. It's going to be real close coming to the end. It really depends on how they come to the end of the stretch for the Bucs. I really don't know, but I really think the Panthers could steal this one. They could steal it. I'm gonna read the Panthers next coming games. The Panthers got the Seahawks, the Steelers, the Lions, the Bucs, and the Saints.
That could be all 5 losers right there. The Seahawks are good. You said who else?
Seahawks, Steelers, Lions, Bucs, and Saints.
Yeah, so there's at least 3 losses there. I think the Steelers could beat them. The Niners can definitely beat them, and the Seahawks can definitely beat them.
Oh, you're putting the definitely's on there.
And then the Bucs is 50-50, Saints 50-50.
Okay, so for the Falcons, we have the Steelers, the Saints, the Ravens, the Cardinals, and the Bucs.
So the Steelers and Ravens, I do think they lose them games. The Bucs 50-50, and then whoever their second game, which it was the Saints.
Yes, the Saints.
Yeah, so 50-50. I mean, it's 50. It's really close. I mean, any of them can make it, but I'm betting the house on the Bucs.
Yeah, looking at it now, it'd probably be closer for the Bucs. It looks a lot better for the Bucs, but who knows? This is the National Football League. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Cowboys. They're winning, and it proves anything can happen.
The Cowboys always win.
Yeah, until the playoffs start.
Or it's a winning in game.
Against who? They're not going to be no winning end game for Cowboys until the playoffs start.
You're probably. I'm just saying. I was just making a comment that
I know you're probably talking about the 2012 to 2014 years or whatever when they had like 3 8-8 season and every single year they had a win in playoffs. They would have made it.
I'm saying this now. Everyone knows it's going to be I think the Chiefs are by far the heavy favorite right now, unless the Bills get their stuff together. But if the Niners make the playoffs, they're the team to beat.
I don't know. I'm going to show. I said it out there a couple of weeks ago. I'm still sticking with them, and I'm telling you guys to watch these guys. The Bengals. I'm telling you, watch Cincinnati. They are getting hot. They got hot last year. At the same time, they're getting hot again this year. They've been looking better and better each week. I'm telling you, watch the Bengals. But I do like the 49ers also. I do like the 49ers
Chiefs this week. So
yeah, big game, huge game. I like it.
Yeah, that's going to be on Sunday Night Football because they flexed that game for next week.
It's the AFC Championship rematch, so they had to flex that one.
Is this Sunday Night Football? Is the Cowboys game still Sunday Night Football?
No. Next week is the AFC rematch between the Bengals and the Chiefs. So they flexed that game over the. I can't remember what game they took away, but it made sense. I think it was a Broncos primetime game, and they moved them.
Yeah, like who's going to watch the Broncos?
Let's ride.
Even Denver won't watch the Broncos.
Poor Russell. Like, he's stuck there. They're going to be so miserable because you can't get rid of Russell. I mean, you paid him all that money. You got to keep him at least for 2 years.
Oh no, I saw a TikTok about breaking down Russell Wilson's contract, and his agent should get a raise because he ain't going nowhere, and if he does, he's still going to get paid by the Broncos for a long time.
A no-name defensive lineman was basically yelling at him during the game. That's how much everyone. I don't know if they hate him, but that's how frustrated the defense. Because the defense was playing good. Like, you gotta admit, they're playing good. I know they have a few injuries, but the defense is keeping them in the games. It's the offense ain't putting up any points.
Yeah, I think there's a stat saying like if they scored like 19 points or more in the games, in like several of the games, their record would be like 8-1.
Yeah.
But they can't score.
They have the weapons. That's the problem. They have the receivers. I mean, the running back, like, they have a lot of injuries. I think they have Murray, which is like their third string running back in. But all they got to do is score like 20 points a game, which isn't like that hard, I guess.
I don't think that they have the receivers. I don't think the receivers are all that. I
I mean,
think
they have
their
Sutton.
receivers are overrated, if you ask me.
I mean, I do think they're overrated, but they are still good receivers. They have Sutton. They have what's his Hamlin or something from PSU. Who's 14? I don't know. They have three.
Cortland Sutton. They have Sutton, who's overrated. Hamlin is, I mean, he's way overrated in my book. And the only one that that I think that was worth any medal was is Jerry Judy.
Oh, Judy,
Sutton,
yeah.
Sutton and Hamlin are both, or Hamler or whatever, they're both just average WR2, WR3 kind of guys. I don't that they are nothing special, nothing
Yeah,
special
it's a
about
better
them.
wide receiver group than the Giants. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not.
that's what I said. Their receivers were way overrated coming in a year, thinking that Russell Wilson was good, was the missing piece, and that their pieces were on the out. They had the pieces on the outside. I kind of saw the writing on the wall there. I knew that wasn't that was I knew what the hell that was going to play out, but they don't even have an offensive line anyway, so it doesn't matter who you have at quarterback.
So here's a question: did Rodgers make the right choice? I mean, it was either Denver or the Packers, and both teams are.
He
Kinda
definitely
same
made the right
record.
choice. He 100% made the right choice because look at Denver. Denver has a. Can we
Alright,
all
but-
agree Russell Wilson is an elite quarterback?
I don't know about that.
What?
Like,
I'm gonna
is
He's a
say-
Super Bowl
Denver
winning
good and
quarterback.
Wilson's yeah, but
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say wrong because, and here's the reason why.
What?
Look at yeah, and here's the reason why. Follow me on this, because the Denver's coach Nathaniel Hackett, he's been Rodgers' offensive coordinator for years and years and years and years and years. So if Rodgers did follow him over to Denver, Rodgers would run the offense how he wants it, exactly run the plays he wants it. I mean, handpick. I mean, he would run his own show, this, that, and the other, and everything would be hunky dory. That's why I said, I mean, but Nathaniel Hackett now having, going out to Denver and having to start with a whole new quarterback in Russell Wilson, who he doesn't know Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson doesn't know him. They don't have the camaraderie. They don't have they just don't, they just didn't have the connection that Rodgers and Hackett had. That if Rodgers and Hackett took that connection to Denver, I think it would be a completely different conversation.
all right, Jordan, have you been like paying attention to any like Denver news? Russell Wilson has been like checking into Seahawk plays mid-game for Dallas. Like Russell Wilson doesn't even know the playbook, and we're in week 12 and 13, and he's still struggling with their playbook.
I mean, he was set on the Seahawks playbook for about 7 years, so I would understand why he
It doesn't take
your brain is
12
engraved
weeks.
in.
He is an NFL quarterback. He's probably quarterbacks should be like the smartest, not always, but should be one of the smartest players on the team. It doesn't take 12 weeks to learn a playbook, especially
Okay,
when you have
but
the whole offseason.
I could see why. I could.
Much money.
If you're learning a specific set of plays for so many years and your brain is engraved in that playbook and you're seeing completely different plays, 180 different 180 on the scale, you're seeing the playbook is just completely different.
I agree.
Then
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
agree with
okay,
that.
it's like, what am I seeing now? It would make more sense if you had like those wristbands to tell the plays and help them out a little
But
bit.
you're saying Wilson is not the problem. I'm saying he is. Look at Tom Brady when he went Patriots to Bucs. I'm sure there might have been a few weeks where it took him to adjust. Look at Stafford with the Niners, LA Rams. It didn't take him 12, 13 weeks to adjust. Look at I know Geno Smith was already with the Seahawks, but it doesn't take that long to learn a new playbook.
Right. Right. Especially when he had a whole training camp, a whole OTAs. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it takes a couple weeks, but then you have to finally start things. I mean, especially when things aren't working at the beginning of the season, that's where the quarterback and the coach got to come together and say, okay, we got to, this is the things that I like. These are the things that I don't like. If the coach isn't, going with that, and then you're having, two alphas kind of butt heads, that's never going to work out for either of them. But I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on in Denver, or what's
I
going
do.
on with Russell Wilson. I mean, if
So
that's what the news is, and I mean, he's not putting it into the playbook, then I mean that's just a shame, and he should. I mean, he should get. I mean, he should almost be brought up on charges for first degree robbery with how much money he's getting paid, and if that's the way if that's the way he's taking it, and completely rob the Broncos of that kind of money just to half-ass it, so to speak, and just to go in there and not get and obviously not give a damn. Then man, ugh.
exactly.
But
I don't
they're
know if you
married
guys
to him. They're married to him.
I don't know if you guys have heard this news, but Marshawn Lynch and like Richard Sherman have been leaking news. Like, if as a teammate in the Seahawks, if you wanted to talk to the quarterback, you had to go through his team. You couldn't directly go to Russell Wilson, which I don't know if that's the same way in Denver, where the teammates have to pretty much contact your agent before you're allowed to talk to the quarterback, which I think that's just wrong. Like, I think he's a
That's
bad teammate.
bullshit. Oh, excuse my language on the, but that is wrong. That is total. That no wonder that they're at where they're at, and no wonder that they won't go anywhere. A
How does
team
this
is
have
not going to go anywhere.
How does this have to do if somebody wants to call you, makes you a better teammate on the field?
All right, so let's just say JCR. Let's say like if I wanted to reach out to you over like setup help, and you're making me to go to your agent. I can't talk to you directly. I have to talk to your agent for help.
Maybe he's had some problems in the past where his teammates were just cutting the shit with him, and he's like, "Hey, it's got to be some business if you want to talk to me."
You're new to the offense. You're new to the team. You shouldn't be making teammates go through your advisor. You're on a 3-week waiting list. You can wait to ask your question. Like, that's not
okay. All right, listen to this. They practice. They go to the same facility every day, every week. If they could deal with that in person, all right, we ain't got to talk about this phone stuff. It's not. That's
what I'm saying. During practice, they're not allowed to talk to him. Those are the rumors that are going out right now.
No, that's rumors. That is rumors. There's no way you can't talk to your own quarterback at practice. No.
Marshawn Lynch came out and said that publicly.
Marshawn Lynch, he don't know what he's talking about.
All right.
All right. I'm just saying there's no reason, or not no reason, but there's no way you can't talk to your own quarterback at work.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's unbelievable.
Okay, so like their own head coach has to go through his agents to talk to him?
Yes.
No, that's cap. That is definitely cap, dude.
It could be, but I'm just saying the stories I'm reading, that's exactly what's
Marshawn
going
Lynch
on.
is not even his teammate, so that's not even
I'm
a
saying
close.
When he was in Seattle, that was what was going on.
No.
Multiple teammates have came out and said that about Russell Wilson. Even Pete Carroll, they have bad blood.
Mr. Unlimited. that's
Mr.
Russell Wilson right there. That's Mr. Unlimited. All right, let's move off this fucking Russell Wilson topic. All right, let's get back on track. We're going to talk about the Eagles versus the Packers. The Eagles took home the win, but it was fairly close throughout most of the game. Aaron Rodgers got hurt late versus the Eagles as Jordan Love took no time to shake off any rust, scoring in his very first drive. So the question is, should the Packers focus on moving on from Rodgers and focusing on their future with Jordan Love? We'll go with Shady on this one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the future has got to be now. I mean, you had to go with Rodgers another year. I mean, he won the last 2 MVPs. He took you to the NFC Championship the last 2 seasons. So you had to go with it. You had to go one more year with it. It's not working out. You know what you have in Jordan Love. He is your future. They've said that he's the future. Then it's obvious that okay, it didn't work out that the way that they wanted it to work out and the way they were hoping it would work out with Rodgers this year, based off of the last 2 years. It didn't work out. It sucks, but it didn't work out. So yes, absolutely. You cut bait with Rodgers and you move on to building the team around your future, around Jordan Love, and focusing on the future which you have waiting there. I mean, the only thing that you're doing is almost kind of wasting time, hoping that Rodgers and if they don't get it, no matter what, if they don't get a new defensive coordinator, ain't nothing going to change anyway. So, but if they're just hoping upon hopes that Rodgers will regain his MVP form and the Green Bay Packers will return to their NFC Championship of the past 2 years. I mean, if they want to hope on that, then I got some bad news for some Packers fans, and I like the Packers, so I would not like to see that. I would say absolutely cut bait with Rodgers and build your team around your future.
Clashing, do you see the Packers moving on from the GOAT?
No, I think it's the other way around. Rodgers leaving the Packers. I know he stayed there, which might have been a mistake.
He's under contract.
Yeah, but I think Rodgers is still Rodgers. He's just new play caller. I mean, bad season for them. Which I know today was leaked that he was playing with a broken thumb or hand or something since week 5, and he might have broke a rib or something in that game. That's why he was pulled. But he said he's playing this week versus Chicago. So
because he owns Chicago, remember?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if he doesn't own with a broken rib. We have to see. But we'll move on into our MinutePeach.com games of the week. But before that, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors, MinutePeach.com. Minute Peach Framing Designs and Gift Shops is worldwide on their websites. www.minutepeach.com. That's www.minutepeach.com. They offer something for everyone in their gift store. They have so many gift ideas, including baby items, home decor, garage signs, gift for kids, candy, Nintendo items, Harry Potter, Sailor Moon, frames, bereavement items, gnomes, pet items, canvases, art-free walls, and more. They even stock items for every season, including Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. They even have gift ideas for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Shop www.minutepeach.com with promo code JJ10 for 10% off your entire store purchase. Support small business with Minute Peach. That's www.minutepeach.com. You'll find something for everyone on your store list. The gift shop with somebody every for MinutePeach.com at promo code JJ10 at checkout for 10% off your entire store purchase. Hey guys, this is a production of the J&J Media, brought to you by Minute Peach Framing Designs and Gift Shops. Alright, that was our sponsor, MinutePeach.com, as we're going to move into our MinutePeach.com games of the week. Make sure to use the promo code JD10, and repeat that, JD10. Alright, so first game we're going to have is the Jets versus the Vikings. It's a big game. Vikings are at home, so clashing, who we got?
You said Vikings versus who?
Jets versus Vikings.
Oh, I mean the Jets.
The Jets. I feel like the Jets are more dangerous now with their quarterback now because they don't have Zach Wilson no more. They got, was it Mark White? I think that's his name.
Mike White.
Mike White.
Yeah, I mean
the GOAT.
The Jets are. That's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna go Jets because the Jets have a really, really good defense, and if the Cowboys could shut the Vikings down, the Jets should be able to too.
Shady, you see the shocker happening with Mike White?
Where are they playing at? New York or Minnesota?
They're playing in Minnesota.
Then I'm going with Minnesota. Definitely.
Why? Do you really think home field means so much to Minnesota?
Oh, it does. It does, definitely.
For both of them. Yeah,
it meant so much to a 43 loss against the Cowboys?
No, it still mattered. It still matters.
No, they allowed 40 points.
Replay that game. That doesn't happen. That just
100% it does happen.
That just happened. That just.
Here we go with the Cowboy slander. Again. Here we go. It just happened. It just happened.
If every team has just one of those games, it just happened to be that game. against the Cowboys. I'm hoping for the rematch, and Minnesota gets the rematch on it, but we'll cross that bridge to it on a different day. But as far as this matchup, yes, the Jets, they're a home team, they're an outdoor team. They're going into a dome into Minnesota. Yeah, I definitely like Minnesota home.
All right, I'm going to go with the Jets on this one. I see Mike White and Sauce Gardner taking home this one. As we're going to move on to the next game, we got the Washington Commies / Commanders versus the Giants. What's up, Shady? What's your favorite team? Won't be shocked if you pick the Giants.
I gotta go with my Redskins, man. And not just because they're my Redskins, just because that they've been playing so much better with Heineke. Heineke is their heart and their soul and their spirit. I think he's undefeated this season as their actual starter, if I'm not mistaken. Um, the only loss, and he came in for Wentz and against Minnesota and should have won that game. Wasn't his defense that the defense lost it in the last minute. But be that as it may, yeah, I'm going with Washington on this one. It's a big division game. The Redskins need to know that they have to have it. Kind of like when they went in Philly the other week. It's a must win game for them, and I'm going with Washington.
Clashing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Washington as well.
And it looks like it's going to be a clean sweep because I'm going to pick Washington too. All right, next game. It's probably the game of the week. We got the Dolphins versus the 49ers. It's two powerhouses. A good offense versus a great defense. So, Shady, take it home.
Where are they playing?
Playing in San Francisco, I believe.
It's Niners versus Dolphins.
Yeah, man. Yeah, oh man, I like both of these teams. All right,
here's a question: is Jimmy G okay? I know he
Oh,
got hurt in the last game.
I don't know if he. I have no idea. I haven't followed up on it.
He hurt his knee. He said he's good, but he hurt his knee.
Is it the one that that he had the ACL a couple years ago?
I'm gonna look it up right now. Jimmy G.
I have to go.
I don't see anything breaking. Didn't be injuries. Scared.
I don't see anything either, so
I
feel like he's going to be playing.
Oh, he's playing.
Yeah.
All right, so who you got?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with 49ers on this one. I think I'm gonna go with the 49ers on this one. I like how they're playing, and especially with McCaffrey getting more and more acclimated to the offense. I do like the Dolphins. I like McDaniels. I like the coach. I like Tua. I love the Dolphins itself. But I think I'm going to take the 49ers at home on this one. I think Shanahan's gonna take his student to school.
Clashing?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good, probably the best game of the week. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, but if the 49ers defense can hold the Dolphins, it's a tough task, because the Niners are going to want to run the ball. And if the Dolphins start out hot, as they usually do, it's going to be very tough for the Niners to do what they want to do. So I'm going to go Dolphins.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. I feel like that offense is going to be really tough to beat, especially if they get in that rhythm. And, yeah, Tyreek and Waddle, that's a dangerous combination out there. But our final game for the MinutePeach.com Week 13 games of the week, we got the Eagles versus the Titans. And the home game is going to be in Philly. So, Shady?
Ooh, big game here. A 7-4 Titans and 10-1 Eagles. I'm going with upset. I'm going with Tennessee on this one. I think Tennessee needs to have this one. I like Tennessee on this one. I go with Tennessee.
Glasham?
I wouldn't even classify this as an upset. I mean, I think the Titans are just a way better team. I'm gonna go Titans.
I see the Philly taking this one. I think they're gonna. If they get that run game going very early, then it's gonna be hard stopping it after that.
I'm gonna read your mind here. You're hoping they lose, but you think they're gonna win.
I hope that for every week that they fucking lose, but of course it's not gonna happen. So I got to be realistic about it.
It's two running teams facing each other, and I think the Titans have a better run defense than what Philly does.
Philly has a great rush defense.
I see the Titans winning this 27-13.
The Eagles have a better rush defense now that they got Ndamukong Suh, but they sure didn't have it against the Commanders.
Because the last two times I've watched the Titans play, like Derrick Henry has been taking some passes like to the house. Like he's been used a lot lately. Titans are hot right now.
All right, so that's wrapping up our MinutePeach.com games of the week, and this is wrapping up our show. Do we have any final thoughts and opinions about this episode? Finishing up the 11th episode.
You need to do your research on Russell Wilson, apparently.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit this whole Denver thing next week. I want to definitely revisit this.
I don't want to talk about Denver. They are booty cheeks
We're talking
year.
about Russell Wilson is the hottest topic across sports right now because of how
I gotta do some research on this. I'm very intrigued now on this whole Denver situation and Russell Wilson. So yeah, I gotta do some research on this, and we'll just at least touch up on the subject.
All right, we're gonna touch up on it, but we're not gonna stay on that subject because their relevance. The Broncos being relevant this year is nonsense. But y'all agree? Except for the drama.
Season, no. Before this season, they were like one of the favorites to win the AFC. They were top 3 for sure. And now they're like, no, dead.
Well, so were the Chargers, and look where they're at now.
Yeah, so are the Chargers. So
They're
are the
struggling.
Colts.
They are struggling.
A lot of teams are doing bad. Even the Lions. I thought the Lions would be for sure playoff team, and they're not doing so hot.
I mean, they put up a fight against
I tried telling you about the Lions. They're the worst defense in the league.
But they had the greatest offense at the same time. Well, at the time they did.
But if you can't stop anybody, it doesn't matter how good your offense is.
I mean, they almost stopped the Bills. They almost stopped the Bills.
What was it? The Steelers in 2017. Like, the Steelers would put up like 40 points a game, but they couldn't stop anything either.
Right.
Yes, same with the 2020 Cowboys. Dak would throw like 500 yards a game, but still end up losing before he ended up getting hurt.
Defense wins championships.
Defense does win championships. Can't get nowhere without that. But, yeah, we're going to wrap up this episode, and thanks for tuning in, guys.